Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently working on enacting proportional taxation. We just got breach loading artillery and we should probably change over our production method for that. So that is going to be in the artillery foundry. We do have a bunch of production methods that we're going to change soon, but we're not quite ready for it yet. So that seems okay for now. Excellent. We're working towards plastics, and that is going to really boost up our demand for oil, which is going to be a very good thing. Economically, we really do want to get started on that. Why do these both have the same flag? Bhutan Liberal Revolt versus Bhutan. Okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. Cool. So we do have more loyalists than we have radicals at this point, and our population is going up pretty nicely. Overall, I think we're in a good spot here, but we do need to continue to work on our electrification. How much longer do we have on that? The answer is a while, so that's okay. It's going to be a couple of years before this electrification is completely finished. I want to start electrifying, though. So, to that end, we would need to go to automatic power looms. 2 states do not have access to required goods. Okay, never mind. We should wait. We should definitely wait. We need to get these power plants done, and that's all completely fine. This railway in Santa Cruz will be done soon enough. Coal is currently expensive. Our power plants are hydroelectric, correct? They're not actually consuming coal, I believe. So if we go into here, we can see... yeah, they're consuming engines only. So they're hydroelectric as of right now. That will change. Eventually we'll go to coal and oil power plants, but for the time being, there's no real input goods set. So there's apparently a carnival here. Yeah, we'll take some loyalists. Sounds good. We've also gone to voting on proportional taxation, and this is going to boost our tax income by about 8,000. It's not going to be hugely significant, but we're currently working 3 out of 5 on our power plants. That is a very, very good thing. And that cotton plantation is going to finish up in just 2 weeks here. So we're definitely going to be putting a lot of resources into power plant production, and that's great. We do see our investment pool is still going up and is not being fully utilized. We're paying down our debt at this point as well. I'm interested in expanding our construction. We're going to go up by 3. We expect that to be a change of about 18 to 20,000, so that might cut our surplus in half, but we should still have a pretty solid surplus there. We'll get education access and assimilation. Thank you very much. So that seems good. And our construction sectors are going to be done here in just 1 week. So that is excellent. We're hoping that this pulls our investment pool back to negative. But I don't know that it actually will. And we were at like plus 20k there. It's probably not going to. So for now, we'll keep an eye on that. 35.3k, and this railway is 2 weeks away from completing. 27.9. This is ballpark of where we expect it to be financially. Yeah. This is ballpark of where we expect it to be financially. So that's okay. The investment pool is still growing. This means that we need to further expand our construction. But I'm going to let the economy settle for a bit here. We can see that steel is currently a little bit on the expensive side. Plus 7. It's not hugely expensive. But that's absolutely noted. We've got some motor industries, iron mines, lead mines going in the private construction. So that all seems okay for now. We have 4 power plants being worked on simultaneously now. That's very, very good. We can see we're 18 months away on our construction queue at this moment. The radicals are expanding, and that's probably not a bad thing. Our coalition is between the National Liberation Alliance and the Radical Party, and I think that's okay. They should expand even further. Some pops in Santa Catarina are going to become radical, but I'm not concerned about that. That should be absolutely fine. So we're up to a 91% chance on proportional taxation. Sadly, that didn't actually go through. That is very unfortunate. We are 4 out of 5 working on power plants, though, and we're back up to around 30k. I'm going to expand our construction again. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to sit like this for the time being. So these are going to finish up. This is still going to hurt our surplus, but I want to construct faster. We definitely need to expand our construction because of our investment pool. So I'm hoping this might get our investment pool down to the level where it is shrinking, and we want to have it be just barely shrinking, is where we want that to be. So we'll keep an eye on what that looks like. Okay, 20K currently. Let's give it another couple of week ticks to figure that out, to see where this shakes out. 12K? Minus 794. This looks decent. We're running a surplus, but we also have negative investment pool. Okay, investment pool went positive there. Hi, Stonks. What do we get from that? Here it is. 3 companies at max prosperity. Cool. Excellent. So that seems good. So the investment pool here is slightly growing, it seems. Our economy, or rather our surplus, is recovering back up to around the same level. 15K now? 4.26K. Noted. I think we should further expand our construction, but not right now. I want to pay off a little bit more debt here. That's going to be fairly major. More oil has been discovered, and apparently there's a gold rush as well. Cool. Open markets. Momentum to the Free Trade Party? No, we want the National Liberation Alliance, actually. The election is happening right now, so we're going to go for momentum for the National Liberation Alliance, and this means that between these two, we're going to have like 75% of the vote. So that sounds wonderful. New election results. 92 righteous government. That's what I want to see. This is the best that we can do, and that sounds good. We don't want to use this reform. Okay, so that sounds excellent. I do want to further expand our constructions. Do we want to do that right now? Yes. I'm doing it now. Proportional taxation goes through, which will help us significantly. I like it. And do we want to push through any more law changes at this moment? Well, we're on regulatory bodies right now. I think that's pretty good. We're on propertied women. I'm okay with that. We can't go any further there anyway. Right of assembly is okay. We could go towards protected speech. Technology spread is pretty good. We would lose some authority, but that's probably okay. Let's get going on protected speech. Cool. We're just completely liberalizing, it seems. Well, that's fine. That's kind of the direction Victoria 3 wants you to go anyway, so it's okay. Workplace Safety Office goes up. That is, of course, going to increase our pop growth. I like it. We're up to 1.08 million peasants right now, but we are currently at 68% literacy, so that looks good. And we finished up those construction sectors. So let's give this a couple weeks to settle out the economy and see what this looks like. 19.1K is not bad. Negative in the investment pool, positive in the surplus. This feels like a decent spot to sit in terms of construction speed. Yeah, I like it. This is pretty good. So we're not going to build additional construction. We're going to focus on getting our economic growth done here. So that looks great. We've got a bunch of power plants here being worked on, obviously. And we're not really going to move anything up right now. I want to be building these power plants very, very heavily at this time. So we're now 16 months away from getting this construction queue finished. We have a tobacco plantation finishing and starting work on another power plant. A lot of these power plants are going to be pretty slow. We've got locations like this, where it's minus 40% construction efficiency. We still got to get it built at some point. So it's as good as it's going to get, I'm afraid. Here we are. We've got this tobacco plantation in 1 week. Excellent. And our protected speech already went up to study. I like it. Let's take a look at Bolivia here. How are we doing here? Okay, going down by 0.16. I don't hate that. That looks decent. It's currently a dominion, and we're going to decrease it down to a puppet fairly soon. I'm not sure we actually want to annex them, though. They are useful to us in their current capacity. So we'll see if that ends up being a thing. However, we are currently at an average standard of living of 15. It's not too bad. It's okay. It's definitely been creeping upward, and that is a big part of the reason why this is happening. We do still have some radicalism, but there's plastics. Okay, so we can now do houseware plastics for glassworks. Let's see what that's going to do. Destroy the price of glass and absolutely rise up the price of porcelain. And really going to rise up the price of oil as well. That's understood. We can go for bone china to produce some more porcelain. I don't know. This is, I think we're going to need more porcelain than we've got here, but what if we were to make, like, Uruguay here go to bone china? That would put the porcelain at about 45.5. Okay, so what if we did something like this? This is likely going to create an oil issue, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it'll be okay. We don't have a bunch of oil rigs queued up right now, and checking in here, we are at full production capacity there right now. Okay, we'll take a look at that. We'll definitely need to grow our oil production. We can go for, like, pneumatic tools. It seems okay. More construction sector throughput. Sure, why not? So, what's that price of oil going to look like? Okay, no problem there. How bad is the price of glass right now? Minus 16? Sure. So, I mean, the price of oil did definitely spike. But we're working on building oil rigs, literally right now. So I think this is fine. Now, we're not going to build the oil rigs, like, super quickly. We're focused very heavily still on the power plants. But that's absolutely okay. We're going to work on these oil rigs, and we're making solid progress here. We're going to finish up some of these power plants reasonably soon. But yeah, this seems fine. So I'm not too concerned about our economic situation right now. Things are looking great at this moment. Brazil is definitely in some pretty good positions. We can check in on New Granada. Still a protectorate of France. Venezuela, still allied with Britain. Netherlands, still a protectorate of the US. And of course, this is France directly. So that's fine. Protected speech will be on everyone's lips now, indeed. So we're going to bump that up to 69%. I am contractually obligated to say nice to that. It is a very unfortunate thing, but here we are. So we're going to get some radical pops in Lima. That's understood. We are a righteous government 94. We should have no problem whatsoever with that. Those are just going to slowly drift on away. Cool. So no issue there. We're going to have this oil rig in Minas Gerais done in 5 weeks. We're going to have a power plant done in 3. This is all looking good. 14 months currently on this construction queue. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with our current construction speed. We're paying down our debt and getting that interest payment under control. 28.3K is significant. So I would definitely like to continue to pay down this debt. And then we're getting the electrification online. Our economy is primed to explode once we get that electrification done. So that looks good. Now we're going to have to build more power plants than what we have here. I just want a base level of power production for each state for now. Can we ramp up our power production through production methods? Can we, this is a class word. Can we go to something like coal-fired power plants? I'm not sure that we can yet. Where are we? Power plants. Coal-fired plant requires steam turbine. We may want to go for steam turbine over pneumatic tools. So steam turbine, then pneumatic tools, like that. Oil has been discovered in Para. That's absolutely expected. We're going to need all of that oil, but for now, we don't really have too much. Well, we do have some use for it. We're making plastics, right? So that is fine. Our laws progress to voting for protected speech. That's great. We are very, very pleased about that. And more of these power plants are finishing. That, of course, means that we are putting some resources into these oil rigs. And that's looking phenomenal. 6 weeks away from getting another oil rig finished. How are we doing on the price of oil at this point? Coal has come up a little bit higher than oil at this point. Noted. Ammunition does Such wild swings. Hilarious. It's absolutely fine. We have a pretty big deficit of coal at this moment, and that is noted. Why do we have a big old deficit of coal? Also, okay, that's electric sawmills. Right. No, I don't want to do horse-drawn. Rail log carts is probably a good thing. That will be more oil, but we're ramping up our production of oil. So yeah, go ahead and do that. Public motor carriages, would that be a good thing? It would produce fewer services and way more transportation. Transportation is, I think, not all that useful right now. Electric streetlights is something we will be going to, but we're not in a position to do that just yet. Oil rigs should definitely be on combustion oil derricks and tanker cars across the board. Okay, so this is all fine for right now. We'll come back and we're going to go through these once we get our electrification finished. So that looks good. Our GDP is up to 55.2 million. That looks really, really solid. I like it. So we're currently at 2 weeks for a power plant in Santa Cruz. That's excellent. And more oil rigs are getting finished up. Automatic bottle blowers have now finished as well for glassworks because, you know, we definitely need to further reduce the price of glass. But actually, this is kind of fine. This is going to be more oil consumption. That's understood. We definitely are interested in raising the demand for oil. This is currently trending downward, and I do expect this, yeah, to start shooting up here. That looks good. Raising the demand for oil is excellent because we have a lot of potential oil to harvest. So we're pretty content with this price of oil. I like it. Protected speech has now come through. Do we want to do any additional law changes? We're on poor laws right now. We could go to wage subsidies or old age pension. I don't know if we want to do that right now. Our economy's in a decent spot, but we do have a lot of debt still. We don't have much else that we could change, though. Who would be opposed to this? The industrialists would radicalize? Okay, noted. But, I mean, why not currently? I mean, it would be a lot of welfare payments, right? But do we care? We're paying 2.53K in welfare. That will start to ramp up. Okay. This will probably be quite expensive. I think we should hold off on this until our debt is better paid. And our economy will grow a little bit in the meantime, too. So I think overall, that'll be pretty decent. I think we'll just leave our law situation where it is right now. We're still on agrarianism, by the way. So that's the thing. We can't change off of it. And I wish we could, but we definitely can't currently. We'll keep an eye on the ability to do that. But for now, we are where we are. And I guess that's fine. So our interest is not changing very quickly, our interest payments. We're working on that debt snowball, but we're not quite there yet. Our interest rate is quite low. So that's definitely noted. We've got 18.2 million in debt right now, but we are positive. We're running a surplus. I think all is looking great here at this moment. So we've got these power plants going. None of these are super terrible on the construction efficiency. Okay. Yeah, there's not that many of them left either. So that looks good. We'll be done with our electrification once we finish up this power plant in Ecuador. So 27 weeks on the outside. That looks amazing. Really, really good there. Now 25 weeks, and that's probably the real amount. So our workplace safety office has worked up. Do we have any other institutions that we can raise? Not that we actually want to. I don't care about colonial growth rate, so that's fine. I wouldn't mind raising up our health system investment, but otherwise, this is looking pretty decent. And of course, Social Security is going to go up later on, but for now, this is fine. I like it. So we're chilling at about 55 million GDP. We did have a bit of a downturn there briefly, but that's probably due to goods substitution, and oil has been discovered in Minas Gerais. Okay. Oil is indeed the future. So that seems excellent. Again, we're going to be done with all of our construction of power plants in our own territories here in 20 weeks, at which point we're going to just flip the switch and electrify our economy. We're going to have too few electricity generating locations in some states, but we'll find out which ones those are once we flip the switch. So that sounds excellent. 18 weeks on that only. We don't actually care so much about in Bolivia because, I mean, this is, you know, it is what it is. Out of curiosity, do we not have a power plant building in La Paz? Hang on a moment. There's already one here. Okay, noted. That must have gotten built earlier, or private construction did it, or Bolivia did it. I'm not sure which, but we'll take it. So, there are 2 power plants that we haven't started construction on, but both of these are in Bolivia. So that is completely fine. I do not mind that at all. 13 weeks away now from Ecuador finishing its power plant. Beautiful. This is, of course, reduced a little bit due to the... And this is up in Ecuador. Due to the turmoil here, presumably. Yeah, that's definitely it. What was it? That was negative? The banana plantation. Okay, and logging camps. Sure. That's all fine for now. We're definitely constructing at a relatively brisk pace. 10 weeks away now on this Ecuadorian power plant. That's the only one that we need. We're up to 40K income. I like it. This has really recovered a lot from building those construction centers, so that's fantastic. And we're definitely paying off this debt at an appreciable rate. And that, of course, is saving us interest, because we're paying principal. I love it. We're at 57-ish million now on the GDP. This is definitely going to break 60 million when we electrify, but it's going to cause a short-term shock to the economy. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. But that will absolutely be a thing. Gold has been depleted in Antofagasta, so that probably means we can build gold mines here, and indeed, we should get started on that. So we're going to get started on that immediately. We're still building our power plant at full speed here, so that sounds fine. We're going to get these done in just 13 weeks. That seems good. I want us to own those gold mines, if at all possible. What are we currently getting from minting? 83.7k? Yeah, that's quite a bit. A university, huh? Sure. That sounds good. We could definitely use more literacy. We can't really use more innovations, but whatever. We'll take a free university. So our power plant in Ecuador is finishing up here in 2 weeks. Now 1 week. Beautiful. We don't really care so much about our power plants in Bolivia. We'll get those done, but that's not the highest of priorities. We did get some rubber as well as some additional oil. Absolutely wonderful. And that is now done. So let's hop over and start checking through every single one of these production methods. So we can go to electric sewing machines and automatic power looms. Yes, I know that this is going to cause a significant shock to our economy. No doubt about that. And this is going to be left where it is. Absolutely. No doubt about that one. Rotary valve engines. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Explosives can go to brine electrolysis. Wonderful. Again, this is going to create significant shock to our economy. Absolutely understood. Assembly lines for the motor industries are fine, and we can go to electric engines. Shipyards, I think we're in an okay state for. Military shipyards, we could definitely start going up to ironclads. I'm going to do this. This is going to create a bit of an issue. We'll get to that. And then electrics industries are fine. Arms industries can be electrified with assembly lines. All of these can be. Wonderful. Nothing to be done on these farms for the moment, but the livestock ranches can go to electric fences and refrigerated rail cars. Okay. Nothing really to be done in the mines at this moment, although our gold mines should definitely go to the condensing engine pump. There we go. And then beyond that, all of this should be pretty much the same. The urban center, I'm going to take to electric streetlights. It's going to create some issues. I'm aware of that. I'm not going to switch off of public trams at this point, I don't think, because that's going to create some significant issues. We don't have automobiles, for one thing. So that's something that we're going to avoid for right now. Okay. So our universities, not too much to be done here, but logging camps will absolutely work on some of this. So chainsaws is fine. Yep. Rubber plantations are going to go to rail transportation. Refrigerated rail cars for our fishing wharves and our whaling stations as well. Railways I'm going to leave where they're at, although we could go to electric trains. Do it. That's going to create some issues, I'm aware. So that is fine for now. That's going to create some significant shock to our economy. Now, I want to go into our military and into our navy here, because I want to get these guys upgraded ideally to ironclads. So this is Man o' War's input. I want to figure out exactly how we go about upgrading these. I think we might have to select the actual navy. Yeah. Okay. So we're currently on frigates here. This is going to be Man o' Wars. And these are currently set to ironclads. There are no light ships that can be upgraded. We can upgrade these capital ships. So we're going to have a Man o' Wars shortage. That, of course, means that we're going to have to hop in here. And we're going to need to get these military shipyards. Some of them are going to need to produce Man o' Wars still. Yeah, it's going to have to be like this. It's not ideal, but that'll do. Now, this is not surprising at all. We have a large electricity shortage in a lot of locations. Deeply, deeply unsurprising. I don't think this transportation shortage in Para will remain, because the main problem here is likely the lack of electricity at this point, so that is understood. But we are certainly going to need to go through and get some power plants going here. So, Oricania, this is going to be a whole thing. This is absolutely going to be a whole thing. Let's just work on this. Actually, anywhere where these earnings are positive, we should build it, right? That's how this should work. Bahia is now changing. Okay. Yeah, that's going to need a lot. Bajo Paraguay is going to need a lot as well. This isn't very surprising. Okay, that's a whole lot. Brazilian Jujuy is going to need only the one. Buenos Aires is going to need a whole lot as well. Yep, this is going to take some time. No doubt about that. But this isn't surprising. We knew this was going to cause a significant shock to the economy. So this is okay. I'm putting all of these in at the top of the queue right now. I believe this was one too many in Ecuador. I'm going to cancel 2 just to make sure. This is fine. Okay. So here in Lima, we're going to need a few. Noted. This is a whole lot of power plants that we're going to need. The question is, do we want to run the electrification right now and build into it? This is going to be a significant drop to the economy if we do. And I think it's probably relatively okay to do so. This is one too many here. There we go. Okay. So something along the lines of this to reduce that electric demand, or rather to meet the current electric demand. Quite a lot in Sao Paulo, which is not really all that surprising. And then something like that. Okay. So this is a significant amount. No doubt about that. That's what we need. So we can do something kind of like this. Okay. Yeah, It's going to take some time, but it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see what we want to do about this power plant situation. We definitely need to get a bunch of these power plants building. It's going to take 8 years at the current situation, and that's a big ol' electricity shortage. This isn't surprising, to be clear. We knew that this would happen. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Tommy Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.